How's everyone doing today? Doing good out there? All right, well, we are Mojo Jackson. My name is Jonathan Walsh, and to my right is Jackson Price. And we're going to be the music for this wonderful Wednesday gathering. We thank each and every one of you for being here. This first song that we're going to welcome you in with is called Well Aware. And it's a little song about life that I'm sure that many of you will be able to relate to. And thank you guys again so much for being in here. One cup of coffee down, and here I am singing the blues. The chips that you count at the table are the chips that you lose. I bet the farm on a dream called California. Box in the mail, it required no label to warn ya. You're gonna get stuck, gonna get lost. Live in the sun, well, it comes at a cost, and that's time. The mirror keeps showing us signs. Lifelines get deeper and hairlines recede. Parents turn grand and you start to agree that life just ain't fair. Yeah, but life don't care. It don't care. 2 cups of coffee down and I ain't got nowhere to be. With all of the voices in my mind, who needs company? 20 years gone, or was it 20 years spent waiting on profits from my investments? Starting to think that maybe I've gone crazy. I'm gonna get stuck, gonna get lost. Live in the sun, well, it comes at a cost, and that's time. The mirror keeps showing us signs. Lifelines get deeper and hairlines recede. Parents turn grand and you start to believe that life just ain't fair. Yeah, but life don't care. It don't care. 3 cups of coffee poured, the last it sits cold and half filled. An early sunrise, all of my thoughts remain still. Bed in the farm on the dream I still live. To make it come real, take all I can give. Starting to think I'm okay being crazy. I'm gonna get stuck, gonna get lost. To live in the sun, well, it comes at a cost. It reminds me summer is endless as time. Lifelines get deeper, my hairline recedes. My parents turn grand and I start to believe that life just ain't fair. No, this life just ain't fair. And I'm well aware. wandering free. Wish I could be part of their world.
Joe Jackson. You notice we had to leave out the Mo. He's meditating with the yogis tonight or playing for the yogis. So we have Joe Jackson, Jonathan Welsh, and Jackson Price. They're great together, aren't they? So, yes. So welcome. My name is Reverend Lori McMacken. Welcome to the Going Within Gathering. We come together on a Wednesday night in a spiritual community to lift you up and to tap into the field of infinite possibilities, infinite potentiality. This evening I'm going to be talking about intuition, and as you know, this is a candle lighting service. I'm going to invite you to come forward and to set an intention and to light a candle. Today I'll be talking about learning how to listen. So I invite you to set an intention as we practice the presence together.
I can sleep just like the dead. In my own way, it's like praying. But I'm certainly not saying that I'm godly, ooh, but I am. 'Cause the sunshine in my skin like a virus, visiting the city of sin. But I'm certainly not saying that I'm dying or I'm perfect, ooh, but I am perfectly good at screwing up, perfectly good at cutting loose, perfectly good at dancing in my dancing shoes. But it don't work, no it won't work without you. Perfectly good at singing songs, perfectly good at staying strong, perfectly good at playing Mr. Get Along. But it don't work, no it won't work without you. I can act just like a saint, I can paint a perfect picture, but I'm certainly not saying I'm not guilty, ooh, 'cause I am. I can flow just like a river after rainfall, be the heat that brings a drift. But I'm certainly not saying I'm the problem or the solution, ooh, but I am perfectly good at screwing up, perfectly good at cutting loose, perfectly good at dancing in my dancing shoes. But it don't work, no it won't work without you. Perfectly good at singing songs, perfectly good at staying strong, perfectly good at playing Mr. Get Along. But it don't work, no it won't work without you. Ooh, what am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do now? Now that I've said it out loud, what am I gonna do now? Now that it's said, perfectly good at screwing up, perfectly good at cutting loose, perfectly good at dancing in my dancing shoes. But it don't work, no it won't work without you. Perfectly good at singing songs, perfectly good at staying strong, perfectly good at playing Mr. Get Along. But it don't work, no it won't won't work without you. But it don't work, no, it won't work without you.
Thank you. Yes. So this is the time of our service where we practice the presence together. So I invite you to close your eyes and to go within and to sit your back up straight and tall so Spirit knows that you're serious. And I would love for you to breathe into your heart space. Take a big, deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And just be aware whether you're breathing shallow or you're breathing deeply. And as we move into the silence, when a thought arises within your mind, allow it to pass like a cloud. Don't follow that thought into another thought and build upon it. Just allow the thought to pass. And in this moment right here and right now, as we're breathing into our heart space, think of something or someone that you have so much love for. And allow that feeling of love to move through your body. Yes, put a gentle smile on your face. And as you breathe deeply into your heart space, allow this feeling of love to move throughout the whole sanctuary as we practice the silence together.
I know there is one power, one presence, one all-inclusive love that is all-powerful, all-knowing, and everywhere present. The one divine mind of God is the creator of everything in existence. I am the very essence of this divine source. It is the truth of my being. It is my nature. The loving presence of Spirit blesses and maintains and sustains everything with its highest form of love, for love sees itself in all things. So I listen for the many ways that Spirit speaks to me. My intuition gently guides me and directs my thoughts, my feelings, my actions. So I invite you to deeply listen to the Spirit that spontaneously flows through Reverend Lori's words, and follow the inspiration that where it may lead you. For it is Spirit whispering, guiding, and directing your life through its inspiration and its many opportunities that come your way through your awareness. And so it is. Good evening. My name is Kay Samuelson. And Trudy and Rema are holding the light tonight. And prayer is a gift from the heart. And so we would love to support you with prayer after the service. So please join us at the chapel here to the left. My reading is from the Joyous Abundance Journal from Dr. Christian and Petra Wales. Learning to Listen is the title. The quote is, a great many people think they are thinking when they are merely rearranging their prejudices. William James. Spiritual maturity often looks like allowing some of the values and attitudes you hold as truth to die. When you become set in your ways and loath to expand, often something must come along and shake you from your calcification. It's hard to let go of any overprotective, hovering nature, but if you listen for too long, you will not develop your gifts of expression and strengthen the explorer within. How will you retrieve your intuitive nature if you remain in familiar territory? How will you learn to strengthen your resolve if what you intuit, if you never take a stand for the newly seen? If you dishonor your emerging side, you will lose confidence in the new, leaving you behind and feeling alone. When the invisible inklings are no longer heard, there is a dying inside as the light goes out. Yet this dying could be the very catalyst that launches you into hearing the new voice of inner knowing. As you learn to honor the inner directive again, a confidence will return with the eyes that see and the ears that hear beyond the physical evidence. Only humans question that intuitive side. All other creatures of this world listen to their inner self and its guidance. Spiritual contemplation. Have you recently said to yourself that you should have listened to your intuition? What inner promptings are you not listening to? Affirmation. I trust my inner directives. So let us welcome Reverend Lori McMacken.
Thank you, Kay. Prayer was beautiful. Thanks for grounding us in spirit. Yes, how many times have we not listened? Oh my God, I should have listened to my intuition. I should have brought my umbrella, right? There's so many times when we're on the spiritual path that we remind ourselves, my God, if I just would have listened to that still small voice within me, everything would have been different. There's a quote that goes like this. Prayer is when you're calling God, but intuition is when God is calling you, from Florence Scovel-Shinn. There is a guidance principle which goes like this, that there is a unified thread of infinite intelligence that is interconnected and weaving through all of life. And with this, in this unified thread of infinite intelligence, the scientific name would be the field. And it's an electromagnetic field that expresses itself in space, and it moves through all, and it dances through all, and it's always moving us towards our highest good. It's always moving us towards our spiritual evolution. It's always guiding us and directing us and maintaining us and sustaining us in every single way. And we have an opportunity to listen to that still small voice, or we can ignore it. And when we listen to it, we are becoming closer with the universe, closer with God, and we are co-creating with Spirit. And when we decide to ignore it, we know what happens to us, and it causes a lot of stress and anxiety in our life. But the intuition is the cord, or the communicator between that infinite intelligence and between ourselves. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, he quotes that the highest faculty in man is intuition. And it comes to a point sometimes where, with no process of reasoning at all, he instantly knows. So what is intuition? Intuition is like you know, like you know, like you know. It's a spontaneous knowing that drives you into action. It's a sign that you get from within, where you know exactly what to do and where to go. But it comes without a cause, because it's not something that comes from the mind. It's something that comes from the senses. It's your body can speak to you and give you intuitive hits, or you feel it through your eyesight, or the taste, your smell. There's different ways, but we know that God would only speak to you in a way that you will understand. And intuition can come from like a sign, or you can see something in your mind. I'm very clairaudience, where I hear something. It's almost like a telepathic signal with the Spirit that I receive my messages. It could be in deja vu, or in dreaming, that you receive your intuition. There's many different ways that we can receive it, but what I know that is when we receive the hit, that we are receiving the messages, that it's only for our higher good. And as we listen to them, it moves us rapidly into our evolutionary process. Just as instinct guides an animal, intuition guides a man. So why should we develop intuition? It's like, why shouldn't we develop intuition? Intuition was always going to bring us to our highest good. We know that intuition is always going to protect us. There's many times in our life where danger comes upon us, and that when we are open and we are receptive to the intuition, we know whether to move right or to move left. Sometimes when you are about to make a left turn and all of a sudden you feel the hit to make a right turn, you're not quite sure why. When you make that right turn, you're glad you did, because perhaps a crash would have happened if you made a left turn. Intuition comes when we are experiencing our true authentic self, when Spirit is guiding us to evolve within our own selfhood. Spirit will bring the right people in front of us, or we will have magazine articles that come to us to show us maybe where to go to school, or who to talk to next, to bring us to another level of evolution. Intuition is Spirit knowing itself. So how do we develop the intuition? I don't know if it's how do we develop the intuition or it's how do we become open and receptive to intuition, because each and every person has that sixth sense of the intuition, but it's not about developing it, because intuition is not a psychic skill. It's a skill that you already have within you. I mean, everyone can be psychic, but some people have that skill. I think that's almost a different skill. This is a skill that is our sixth sense, and it's developed by making yourself open and receptive to be that conduit to hear. The best way to make yourself open and receptive is to clear out the clutter, to relentlessly clear out the clutter in your life, especially in your personal life, in your house, in your home, when there's a lot of clutter. It's difficult for you to be open to receptive to new things to come in. But within the mind, there's so many times when we make judgments in our minds that we have certain ideas how life is supposed to go, that it clutters our mind. Not only that, but when we have a thought, whether it's positive or negative, we follow that thought. And then when we follow that thought is built upon. And as that thought is built upon, it becomes clutter in our mind. Now, of course, a positive thought is better than a negative thought, but the whole thing for us to do is to really have space, to be in this present moment right here and right now. I'm not in tomorrow. I'm not in yesterday. I'm right here. So let's say if you have a negative thought and you say, well, I really don't like my boss, and then you start following the thought. I don't like my boss, and then I have to drive to work, and it's a long drive, and I don't like my computer, and the guy next to me in the cubicle, he screams and yells, and all of a sudden you're cluttering your mind, like while you're driving, and you're not following. Even if it's an affirmative thought, like I'm going on vacation. I have this great trip planned, and I have to buy the tickets, and I got to do homework on it, and I have to, make sure the dogs are taken care of, and all these things with something positive in your life, but you're still cluttering the mind. It's like when we are, whatever we're doing, if we're driving or if we're just sitting and we're just reading or whatever it is, having tea, if we can just be right here and be right now, is when we become open and receptive to these intuitive hits that guide us and direct us along our path. So I'm on the 78 and I'm thinking, okay, just be right here, be right now, because I love to live in the future or live in the past like everyone else. And so I'm just going to drive. I'm just going to be right here. And as I'm driving and I'm being in the moment, all of a sudden I receive a hit. And the hit says, go to Carlsbad Collision, because when I was in LA, there's a part of my car in the front of it kind of popped out. I've been ignoring it because, you got to call the insurance company, then you have to go to the collision place, and they take your car for a week, and, then you have to pay the deductible. But something said, right now, go to Carlsbad Collision. So I went over to Carlsbad Collision, and they sat me down. They said, okay, let me go get the appraiser. So I knew I had a little time. So in that moment, I took time to clear my mind. So what I'm finding that if I can take little 5-minute increments all day long to clear my mind. So I sat there, and when a thought came in, I didn't follow it. I let it go. A thought came in, I just let it go. I just shut my eyes. Finally, the appraiser came. He went outside, he looked at my car, and then he said, let me take your car in the back for a minute. So he took my car to the back, and then he came back out about 10 minutes later. He said, well, come on out here. What do you think? He totally fixed it. He said, all we had to do was pop it in and put a pin in. I go, well, what do I owe you? He goes, it's free. I was like, oh my God, Here I was, open. I was receptive. Something told me where to go and when to do it. And when I went there, everything just kind of unfolded for my highest good. I was like, great, that's wonderful. So I think is when we make it a habit to clear the clutter out of our mind. Now, we all know it's about meditation every day, sitting and meditating and clearing the clutter. But I think if you take that one step further, it's about being aware of the present moment right here and right now. And there was a wonderful story that I had seen online about a woman who was making a long trip from Georgia to No, it was New York City to Georgia with her family, and they were caravanning in 3 cars. And she had this hit that maybe it wasn't a good idea to go, but because there were so many people involved, she didn't want to, stop the wheels in motion. So her sister was in the front car with her family, and her brother was in the last car with his family, and she was in the middle car with her mom and dad. And she was laying in the back seat, sleeping, and her feet were across. And all of a sudden, she heard a list of things to do. It was like clairaudience. Ask your mom and dad if they have their seatbelt on. Mom, Dad, do you have your seatbelt on? The mother didn't have it. All right. Take your bracelet off. Otherwise, it's going to constrain you. She takes her bracelet off. Take your legs off the seat and put it behind the seat. Put them on the ground so you don't break your back. Make sure you sit up straight and tall. And the next second, the tire blew out. She saw her father almost run into a Mack truck. The car flipped over twice, and it landed. And as it flipped over, she said, I was never so centered in the eye of the storm. I asked my soul, is this how I'm going to die? No, you're going to be fine. You sure I'm not going to die? No, you're not going to die. And when it was over with, everyone was upside down, but everyone was in their seatbelts, and everyone was alive. Learning to listen. And when we listen on a daily basis and we practice this, making space and being open and receptive, the moments that we need it the most, that infinite intelligence is going to be there to guide us and direct us into right action. Oh, this is a good one. I think this was my lesson this week. It's I don't think I love it when I run into something that I've never heard before. From a spiritual teacher. And just the way that it's put. It's all the same thing, but the way it's put. Drop your sense of urgency. We live in this world, this fast food world where we want everything anytime between now and right now. I want it right here and right now. And I'm kind of in recovery from type A personality. I've been doing good since practitioner training, okay? The egos calm down. I'm not as, hyper, but I'm all about the end result, So, but I've gotten better. But I think most people are like this, especially in our world, that we have a destination. And when we have that sense of urgency that you have to get it done, you have to get it done now, what happens is it puts you in a tunnel vision, right? You're in you can't see the greater perspective of the world, and it takes you out of the present moment. And most important, what I had noticed about feeling that sense of urgency is that breathing shallow. I thought, wow, I'm really breathing shallow. I'm not breathing deep into my body, because if you're breathing deep into your body, you're in the present moment of right here and right now. You're not in a rush to get anywhere. You know how everyone just races up to the red light, passes somebody and gets to the red light, and then we're all sitting there together after you did that. Now, I lived in LA for 10 years, so I'm embarrassed to say that they trained me how to drive. And so when I was there working, I kind of got into that mode again. These are the LA things, don't put on your blinker because they'll never let you in. Just kind of sneak in there, right? And when you're making a left, they don't have left signals. If you don't get on the bumper of the car in front of you to get into that left, to make that left with the yellow, you're going to be sitting there for at least 20 minutes because there's a sense of urgency that you got to get there and you got to get it done because there's so many people. But what I realize, and I come here and I go, okay, Lori, relax, you don't have to do that, is that when you're not in a hurry, time expands. It's like time expands. You're more relaxed. That's wonderful living by the beach, right? When you're more relaxed, you're breathing deeply. So I invite you this week to be aware of yourself and see if you are breathing shallow, if you are breathing deeply. Are you in a hurry to get something done, or are you letting time expand and you are enjoying the journey? Because the journey is as rich as the place you go. It's really all about the journey. So be aware of, are you in a sense of emergency? I think I told you that I'm going in September, I'm going on a trip to Spain. I'm going to be walking the Camino. And so I've been training a little bit with a group of pilgrims in San Juan Capistrano. And there's a beautiful lady, and she's walked it like 8 times, and she's had me over her house with other people, and they showed us, how to pack and what you do and da-da-da. And she's talking about it, and we're all in a circle, and she's like, okay, well, we start at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then we end at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Type A Lori says, does it really take that long to walk 12 miles, 10 miles? I mean, can't you just do that in 5 hours or 3 hours? And they all kind of like laugh at me like, okay, this is the newbie. So they said, well, a really good book to read is called Walk in a Casual Manner. And so I went and I got the book and I read it. And I got to talk more about this book because it's so amazing. It was actually written by a nun who went on the walk with a priest. And the lady that trained me, at the end of our conversation at her house, I realized she was kind of talking my language. And I did a little bit of homework on her, and I found out she's a practitioner. Is that funny? So anyways, in the book, it says, to walk in a casual manner. When you walk in a casual manner, you'll never get tired, okay? Because you're completely centered. You're in your body. And it talks about a story about, they tell you how not to get blisters. This is the big thing, how to walk all those miles and not get a blister. And what I discovered was Vaseline on my toes and toe socks, but walking in a casual manner. So there was a guy there that had lots and lots of blisters, and one of the older gentlemen said that the reason why you have blisters is because you're pushing. You're trying to get somewhere. Don't try to get anywhere. Just walk slowly, breathe, and those blisters will go away. And I thought, oh, this is wonderful. I just love it. So just another, confirmation for a sense of urgency. Listen to your body. This is, our body speaks to us. And it's not our head, it's our body. What is your body saying to you? Is there something right now in your health? Okay, this is really important that we have to listen to our body, because I know sometimes I ignore the signs too. Maybe you're drinking too much caffeine, or you're having too much sugar in your life. Maybe you need to get more sleep, but your body is trying to tell you something for your optimal health. And the minute that we decide to ignore our body, the minute we just kind of push it to the side, what happens is that we are making ourselves sick. And then one day we become sick, but we don't just become sick, right? We made ourselves sick because it's accumulative, because we're not listening to our body. And so what I realized from doing this, it's not only that, the intuitive mind that's speaking to you, it's your heart. Right? I think Kay was saying that this is where prayer is from the heart. Your heart will speak to you. Your stomach, the gut. There's like 90% of the serotonin is developed in the stomach. So this is your gut feeling. When you have a gut feeling. And the most interesting one was your legs. Your legs will talk to you, and your legs are so far away from your head. I thought, well, this is interesting. So last Sunday morning, I thought, before I came to church, I just wanted to go to the gym a little bit. And because I was walking in a casual manner, I decided to get it was raining, on the little treadmill and just kind of walk slowly. Then I asked my legs, well, what do you want to do? And my leg says, well, I want to go to the beach. And my head said, no, it's raining. I go, well, what do you want to do? My leg says, I want to go to the beach. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take my legs to the beach. So I got in the car. I took my legs to the beach, and what was before me but a beautiful rainbow underneath the cloudy skies. And during the time that I walked, it wasn't raining. It was just really a beautiful experience. But I realized that I have to listen more. Listen to my legs. Listen to my stomach, my gut feeling. Listen to my heart. Listen to everything, but don't listen to your mind. Whatever you do is just going to steer you in the wrong direction. Oh, I know I wanted to tell you. A couple things that you can do. Like, sometimes we get so confused, we get cluttered in our mind. And how can you intuitively use your body as like, okay, do I do this or do I do that? And you don't know what you should do because you've processed everything to the right and you processed everything to the left. And so a couple little things that you can do with your body is with the hand that you write with, you make a circle, okay? And then you take your finger from the other hand, okay? And you put it in there, and what you're going to do is you're going to say your name. My name's Lori. Okay, and it stays. I'm going to say, my name's John. Now give yourself another name and see what happens. See? All right. My name's Lori. My name's John. All right. Yeah. Another thing that you can do with your body intuitively, and I might do this when I'm in the store, like, do I buy this or do I buy that? And I can't think straight right now because my head's so cluttered, is I use my body weight, okay? So you would stand, I'm just going to stand perpendicular so you can see it, and I'll say, my name's Lori, and if the answer is yes, what will happen is my weight will go forward, right? And then if you say, my name's John, my weight will go back. Have you ever done that? Yeah. So this is, if you haven't, why don't we try it? Stand up. Let's just stand up for a second. Stretch it out. Right. So I want you just to close your eyes and feel the center of your body and say my name and say your name. My name's Lori, and see what happens if your body goes forward or goes back. And just let it go the way it goes. All right. Okay, now give yourself a fake name. My name's John, and see what happens. Wow, I see everyone going backwards. See how that worked? Right, okay, so you can use that as a tool. So when our mind is cluttered, we have to use our body because our body speaks to us. Take action. Yeah, this is the most important thing. If I only would have listened to myself, right? Take the action. Have the courage. Courage is Latin for heart. So have the courage to move forward and to take action in your life. And I know I had a story right here. Let me think for a second. I got up in the practitioner story. There was one more story. Oh, yeah. So anyways, there is a story about a man who worked at a university, and he was teaching and at a very young age, and he realized that, you know what, there's something I should be doing. But he felt like whatever it is he should be doing was a little bit risky. Like if he did that, he would lose his job, and he would lose the future that he planned for himself, but he knew he really wasn't being authentic with himself. So he decided to, he decided to listen to a saying from the Quakers, let your life speak, okay? And what the Quakers are saying, let your life speak, is to authentically listen to what's inside yourself. So 30 years later, he finally decided to listen, because that's kind of what we do when we finally grow up. It's like, okay, I got to start being authentic. I can't live my life for everyone else. And he became a teacher, and he traveled, and he became an activist and a photographer, and he just loved his life. And he realized that his new vocation was just wonderful. And he recognized that vocation doesn't mean being willful, to will something to happen to you. In the Latin word, vocation is the voice. There's a voice within. So when we go within and we listen to that deep voice within, we allow that authentic self to blossom and to move forward. And this is what intuition does for us. It allows us to blossom. Before I tell my life what I want to do with it, I must listen for what my life wants to do with me. And then he said, Rabbi Souza, when he was an old man, said, in the coming world, they will not ask me why we're not Moses. They will ask me why we're not Zusa. So you are here to be your authentic self. I think you might know who Elizabeth Kubler-Ross is. She worked with many people when they were in transition, ready to pass away, and she had heard 5 regrets that people have. 5 of the most, do you have one of her books in your hand? All right, okay. 5 of the most popular regrets people have before they have passed away. So the 5th regret is, I wish I had let myself be happier. It's our intuition that's always guiding us to our happiness, to who we truly are. I wish I would have kept in touch with my friends. How can I when I'm urgent, when there's so much to do? I got to get things done. I can't call my friends and go out with my friends. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. That courage, something that comes from the heart. I wish I had not worked so hard. I'm too busy. I have too much to do. I have to pay the bills. And number 1, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected me to live. So I invite you today to have that courage to open space in your life. Open space to hear the expression of Spirit by being in the present moment, by breathing deeper on a regular basis, by being aware of when your body talks to you. Listen to your body. When it's pre-warning you of physical ailments, listen to that so you can live a fulfilled life. When Spirit is guiding you and directing you, and you don't know which way to go, you just sit in meditation and you ask that one question.